Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. The new content is getting closer and closer, guys. Plarium actually teased a couple of different things the other day. Some of them on their socials, which we're going to discuss in a second because that's actually pretty interesting. And some of them, they were teased to other content creators. I think Tadwood Jedi, Cold Brew, Senda, Victor Tess, YST, and Nubs received some sort of puzzles that together made a whole map, okay? And yeah, some of the things look really interesting in there because it looks massive all around. And boy, was I wrong about thinking that Centranos is the city where Galek actually had a fight with Artak, because I kept on listening better and better to the audio and they were saying the Gallon fight, the Gallon fight. So not the Galek fight. Basically something to do with these factions, right? I have no idea when that happened or anything like that. But the city is just much bigger all around, so it's definitely not the city from the Call of the Arbiter fight where Galek cut Artek's hand, basically. But let me just quickly show you the map. This is the map right here, guys. How you may see, we have Dead Rise, we have a Cobble Market, Plague House, Soul Cross, and this is the Cintranos city, guys. And it's massive. Right here, it might be the Eclipse Tower or whatever. Now, I do have a couple of better things done by my buddy, Grumpy Old Marine, so I'm going to show you that in just a second. Big shout out to him for putting everything together, kind of like more teasers, basically. And this Soul Cross and beyond is massive. Now, there are all sorts of different things in here. Ships, krakens, dragons, and everything in it. Now, this could potentially be something like a new campaign, guys, which will then unlock different things. All that we know so far is that there will be different difficulties. So if you're looking right here at the map, you see water krakens here too. And basically, it's just a continuous big map moving from place to place to place, which looks very similar with that one. Now, of course, it's not positioned in the same way, where you have the content just going in a zigzag sort of direction, but it does kind of like look pretty similar with what we're seeing here, like different areas, etc. And this is the land of Teleria. Now, the whole idea is that if you would just get a campaign, that is kind of like weak sauce as new content, because who wants to do another campaign and forget about it after? So hopefully it's going to be something more interesting. At least that's what most of the people are kind of like wondering. So this is one of the images that my buddy Grumpy Old Marine put together, basically. And I do have all the audios here, guys, but honestly, because I'm talking, and if I'll play them in the background, we won't really get much of an action out of it. But we're going to do it after I'm done with showcasing everything here. So the main idea is that in the audio, it's clearly mentioned that you will have different quests to pick up in each one of these locations. You have keys to collect, bosses to defeat, get awesome rewards all around. And those keys, they will basically unlock the Eclipse Tower. At least that's what I understood from the audio. He thinks that it will unlock that, plus you might need to unlock the Soul Cross too, which is this area right here. Now, what we know so far is that this will be based on difficulties, okay? So let's just say the Cobble Market will be easier than than the Plague House or than the Dead Rise. So they're going to increase in difficulty. Kind of like, maybe in a way or another, thinking like, I don't know, normal campaign, hard campaign, nightmare campaign. Maybe that sort of a thing is going to increase in difficulty like that. Then you have the tower, which is potential is to be something like the actual Doom Tower in a way or another, basically. And we're not sure if these areas will be like dungeons or will be more like the campaign. So the reason why I'm saying dungeons, guys, is because from what we understood, at least from what I understood from the video that I watched from the other content creators, I'm going to link it in the pinned comment if you guys want to check it out if you haven't done it yet. All of them will have 25 levels, okay? So Dead Rise will have 25 levels. Everybody will unlock this content once they reach level 52. So that kind of like makes you think, okay, it must be a dungeon or something rather than campaign. Then if we are paying a closer look to the rest, the Soul Cross is where only champions awakened to their full potential will be able to enter. Okay, so from what I understood, that was just a figure of speech, and you don't actually need 6-star awakened champions, and they just use that as a figure of speech. But we're gonna see once the thing comes in the game. I hope it's not, because hey, you wanna have hard content, but I can think about a million things that you could do to make the content hard without requiring 6-star blessings, right? That would be the lazy way on how you could make hard content, you know. And yeah, looking forward to see what we have here, because the Soul Cross and beyond, guys. So it's not just Soul Cross. There are other areas in here that they haven't been mentioned. Now, either you're going to have to defeat all these 3 locations, you get the keys, you do the tower, and then you can unlock the Soul Cross, which is kind of like the most endgame part out of it, you know? And then that's where you'll be fighting for the best rewards. Something in here should reward us with a mythical champion. I'm not sure how that will play out, but they mentioned the next big content that is coming to the game will have a reward, a mythical champion. This right here should be the place that will award us with primal shards, because they've mentioned in the future we're going to have the big content that will give a mythical champion and multiple ways on how you can farm primal shards, right? So this should bring quite a few interesting things. Looking forward to it all around. Then he put a different one together, which is kind of like explaining it a bit better, kind of like how you're moving from locations to location and different points of interest on the map that could potentially be something else. So Soul Cross and beyond, you have D, E, F, which are different areas that could potentially be something else. Now, the Eclipse Tower being this one in the middle, most probably, rather than this little one here at the top, you know. And yeah, you will collect keys from Death Rise, from Cobble Market, and Plague House. Now, if you're only going to unlock the tower with them, that's something that we don't know. He reckons that the Soul Cross needs to be unlocked with it, but we're going to listen to the audio in just a second. Now, the reason why I'm saying we're going to get dungeons, guys, and I want to hear your opinion on it right here, is because Plarium posted this on their social, okay? Sometimes opposites attract. Just imagine Fyro and Clysus teaming up to sing you a song of ice and fire. The same thing that they do in Game of Thrones. Do your champions have what it takes to survive such a deadly performance? Time alone will tell. So we already know that the city of Sintranos will feature mirrored copies of the bosses from Teleria, the toughest bosses, okay? I hope at least that the Soul Cross will have everything new as content, because it will be pretty weak sauce to just go in and encounter all the dungeon bosses again, just in pairs of 2 and combine with champions. It's not bad, but it's not that exciting, you know, like you've been fighting the same bosses for the last 5 years. It doesn't matter if they're single or in a duo, they're still the same bosses at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So now that we actually have some real visuals from in-game, because that's basically the in-game visual, guys. This is not something that we've just picked up from the internet as random stuff and we just put the names to it. This is coming directly from Plarium, okay? But that being said, let's listen to the audio again and kind of like pay quite a bit of attention and see what we're discovering in here.
Welcome to the free city of Sintranos, traveler. The place was once a glittering harbor known as the Jewel of the South, whose wharfs and warehouses were the envy of all. The Galen War nearly ruined the city and robbed it of its luster, but the Sintranosi spirit of hospitality still endures. So grab your bags and follow me on a guided tour of this once great city. Starting in its bustling commercial heart. Cobble Market. It used to be a magical place on market day, the smell of spices wafting up on the breeze, the sounds of the hawkers selling their finest wares. Now, well, let's just say it's not exactly prime commercial real estate. Don't leave your belongings unattended, and watch out for pickpockets and undead horrors. The town guard isn't very active these days, so you may have to take the law into your own hands if you're set upon by ruffians. A few swings of your sword and a couple of spells should do the trick. From Cobble Market, you can wander over one of Sintranos' many bridges and see the Grand Eclipse Tower looming over the city. Fun fact, the tower was originally used as a lighthouse during the city's heyday, referred to by locals as the Lantern Keep. That, of course, all changed when Amius the Lunar Archon swept into power. Now, this Grand Fortress is his main residence, and you'll need more than an appointment to see him. You'll need to find 3 special keys to break through the tower's magical wards. But let's keep on with the tour. Our next stop is Plagued with Charm. Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, you're correct. Plague Home is not the most inviting name. But underneath the overwhelming stench of death, the overloaded plague wagons, and the constant blood-curdling screams, there's really a lot to love. Originally Cintranos' cultural hub, Plague Home gained its unfortunate name during the Galen War, where the destruction of the city's flood defenses caused its streets to be submerged by a torrent of fetid water. It then became a mass dumping ground and, naturally, a home for all manner of plague and pestilence. But if you look closely, you can still make out some of the old theaters and cafes that used to line its picturesque boulevards. Keep your eyes peeled as you wind your way through Plague Home. You never know who you might encounter. Thanks to Amius's illusionary magic, you'll have noticed some celebrities moving among the gloom. Why, that's Borgoth the Scarab King hanging around with Hellraiser? Expect a battle for the ages if you decide to face off against this pair. And other fearsome duos that are roaming about, and who knows, you may manage to pilfer a key to the Eclipse Tower should you come out the victor. That's enough plague talk. Let's move on to somewhere a little less aromatic. Blanketed in an eerie glow and bustling with gangs of demented minions, Deadrise is the home of Cintranos' killer nightlife. Fortune favors the bold, and you're bound to find some true treasures if you delve deep into this district's haunted streets. While wandering around, don't neglect the special quests you would have received upon entering Cintranos. Completing them may yield something truly unexpected. Now, despite the aforementioned baleful glow and powerful sense of dread, Deadrise still remains one of the more high-class districts of Cintranos. And that's reflected in the types of horrors you'll encounter walking through its snaking back streets. Any enemies you defeat here drop better loot than the ruffians you can find in Cobble Market. And the apex predators that rule this region are magical reflections of some of Talaria's toughest bosses. So, pack your best gear. Luckily, how you take in the sights of Deadrise is entirely up to you. Take on as many or as few challenges as you like. It's your trip, and any rewards you pick up won't be good if you're dead. Now, let's turn our sights to the final leg of our Cursed City walking tour. Deep breaths, everyone. It's a long and perilous trek. And now, we arrive at the last stop on our Grand Cintranos walking tour, Soul Cross. I'm glad you all made it across the ruined bridge, though it's possible we may not make the journey back. Once full of sailors, traders, and travelers here to explore the...
So, just to interrupt it quick, guys. Basically, the keys will unlock the Eclipse Tower. That's what we understood. Yeah, this will be the final location by the looks of it. So probably you will have to defeat the tower in order to move to Soul Cross, because you collect the keys, you unlock the tower, and then basically the main point that connects Soul Cross to the rest of the things is the broken bridge right here, you know. So I have a feeling that this would be the most endgame part all around. And how you may notice on the map, you see we have like water dragons or whatever they are, like ships going down. You have ghosts on the Deadrise, and each one of these areas has like a bit of a emblem, a symbol. You see, like Soul Cross has this one right here, then Plague City has this one down here, Cobble Market has this one, kind of like a compass or something, and that race has this undead with a lamp, basically, sort of sign. But that's pretty much what we are kind of like looking at here. Soul Cross and beyond being the most endgame part by the
Jewel of the South. The only thing you'll find here now is terror beyond imagination. So, a perfect place for extreme thrill seekers. Should you get pulled into a brawl here in Soul Cross, expect the fight of your life and rewards to match. One such reward you'll find here are the enigmatic Cursed Remnants. It's not exactly one of Cintranos' famous meat and eel pies, but it's...
So Cursed Remnants, we don't know what they are, what they do, but by the sound of it, you can only get them from here. I wouldn't be surprised if that's some sort of a currency that either will allow you to collect other rewards afterwards from like a shop or something, or what exactly it will be. I'm curious to find out as well, of course. But I feel like we should have this in game in the next couple of weeks. Honestly, I feel like that's what's going to be. And what's next in raid video? Probably this week.
Something to take home with you to remember your unforgettable trip. There are some locations in Soul Cross and beyond so twisted by dark magics that only champions awakened to their truest potential are powerful enough to enter. I can't even begin to
better not be
describe what
6-star
foul
Plarium,
creatures
there
and
better
challenges
not be
await in
5,
those
6-star
dens of
Awakening.
evil. But you can bet the treasures inside will be truly incredible.
So that was it, guys. Basically, this is what we know so far. I'm pretty positive that that we're gonna encounter a lot of bosses combined together. I just hope there is new stuff as well. Hopefully, the whole Soul Cross is new, because that's kind of like the only thing that's not being mentioned as you're gonna encounter duos, or you're gonna encounter other stuff like that. The Eclipse Tower as well. They mentioned a completely new name for the boss. You need more than an appointment to get to see him, so you need the keys. So I would expect if you want to defeat that boss too, uh, you're gonna have to do a lot of work, and he is a new boss by the sound of it. So definitely looking forward. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. I'm not gonna keep you longer here. We've listened to everything, we've seen everything that we know, we speculated as much as possible. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and let me know who's hyped in the comments down below. Peace.